What's up everybody? So today I'm going to be taking you inside my exact step-by-step strategy that I use to create those amazing SEO search engine optimized titles, which are basically the reason why I'm able to scale to 6 and 7 figures with Google Ads. Now, while having the right titles with proper SEO techniques is definitely one of the reasons why I'm able to find much more success than an average Joe Schmo who just randomly tries running Google Ads for his or her campaigns, there is much more that goes into actually finding success with Google Ads. There are much more intricate details that you need to get right. So don't think that by any means just having the right product titles is going to be the make or break between finding success with Google Ads or not finding success. You of course need to follow my other videos. You need to follow the right strategies in order to get to a level in terms of revenue that you really want to get to. But in order to properly create those titles that are going to make your e-commerce brand do 100K, 200K, even $1 million a month or more, there are a few things you will need to have right. So the first thing is you will need to have the product in mind, which you are ready to kind of make that title for. The second thing you will need to have ready is your Google Keyword Planner tool. So in order for this to really work, you need to have direct access to the Keyword Planner, both of which are extremely easy to do. But once you have that, then comes the real product title creation method. But for the sake of this example, and by the way, we're going to be going over multiple products and how I would create titles for them in this video so that it's easy for you to fully understand and grasp the idea. So by the end of this video, you're going to be a full-on expert at creating product titles. But let's go ahead and just right now randomly choose a basic product which we would want to kind of create a title for, because again, this is how real life works. You're just scrolling through, or you might just already have a certain niche in mind and a product in mind which you want to further kind of look into. So for example, right when I was scrolling through, my eyes kind of went towards this product right here. And by the way, this is a very similar product research strategy I always mention in my YouTube videos. I'm not going to really go into the details of how to do product research here, but let's say for example, this is the product that I really want to look into and I want to kind of make a title for, because I decided to add this product to my store. So step number one, you need to have a general idea of what the 1 to 3 main keywords are to describe the product. And if you're not really sure what the main keyword is to describe that product, I normally recommend looking at the title of the sourcing website where you're trying to source that product from. So in this case, the title here is Steel Wood Burning Fire Pit Grill 30-inch Poker Lid BBQ Cooking Grade Camping. So as you can see already just by looking at this title, number one, it's way too big. Number two, it's not professional by any means. I mean, all they really did is just something called the keyword stuffing. They wrote the first keyword here, then they said poker, which is the second keyword, third keyword lid, and so on and so forth. So this is something that is known as keyword stuffing. It might work for eBay, it might work for Amazon. With Google, if we go ahead and just kind of Google this keyword right here, we can see that there are a lot of other shopping listings coming up, but none of them are really in the same exact manner besides this one right here. So something more professional would be along the lines of what Walmart has done here. But that's why we need to know exactly what this product is called, what it is known as. So in this case, we can describe this product as maybe a fire pit grill 30-inch, or if we want to keep it more narrow, we don't want to confuse Google's keyword planner tool. We want to keep things very broad. Let's just go ahead and choose the keyword fire pit grill, because that's essentially what this is. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this keyword. We're going to go on over to our keyword planner tool. We're going to make sure the correct country and language is chosen wherever we want to advertise, and we're going to hit get results after pasting in. So first things first, of course, you're going to make sure actually keywords are coming up. There is decent search volume. I'm not going to go into the details here, but this keyword and what we searched up does lead to a lot of similar kind of keywords coming up. So what we need to do is we need to start taking a mental note of what is really what we're trying to sell. So obviously the first one, fire pit grill, is what we're trying to sell. The second one, fire pit BBQ, is that really what we're trying to sell? So in this case, maybe if the first keyword barbecue was in front, so barbecue fire pit, so BBQ fire pit, that would make sense. But in the way this is laid out, it doesn't make sense. However, that doesn't matter, because as long as you have all of these words together, that's all that counts. Doesn't matter if fire is in the front or if fire is last, as long as it's the main keyword, that's what matters. So your main goal now is to open a brand new Google Doc. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open a brand new Google Doc, and what I'm going to call it is keywords. So let me just go ahead and open that up really quick. We're going to call it keywords because we want to kind of make a mental note of exactly what keywords we're trying to figure out. So here is the keywords doc that I created, and your goal now in order to make that title is to basically go through that list of keywords which you came up with right here in the Google Keyword Planner tool, and basically write down 5, 10, maybe even 15 keywords which essentially match your criteria, which are of course same as what you're trying to sell. So if you're trying to sell a fire pit barbecue grill, don't rank for the keyword fire, because again, it doesn't make sense. It's not relevant to what you want to sell, and it's not going to really do you any justice. stuff. So that's essentially what you want to do. Just go down this list, make a list of as many keywords as you can, maximum 15 that match your product, that match your criteria. And also you got to do more research into these. By the way, how to do research, I'm not going to go in depth into this video here because I've made videos on that, but you want to make sure there's not more than 3 to 5 competitors for a keyword. You want to make sure you are able to get at least $40, $50 profit margins. You don't go in a loss ranking for that keyword and all sorts of stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this list, note down all the keywords which I think are ideal, and I'll get back to you shortly. All right, so what I did is I went inside the keyword planner tool and I tried to come up with as many of the keywords as I possibly could, which I felt even in a slightest way kind of matched what I wanted to sell. But I came upon something very interesting here when I was kind of noting down the keywords. So if you notice, the first 2 main keywords, it's fire pit grill, and then the second one, barbecue fire pit. But from the third keyword onwards, it becomes a little bit different. So it's fire pit grates, fire pit cooking grate, fire pit grill grate, etc., etc. So these keywords are more about grates, and these are more about the fire pit actual grill. So there's definitely a difference between the two, because if you go ahead and copy this fire pit grill, go on to Google and just paste it in right here, we are going to be seeing a few different options compared to what would come up when we typed in the third option. So this is what comes up when we type in fire pit grill. But now keep in mind what came up here, because now we're going to type in fire pit grate. And what we're trying to do is we're just kind of trying to make sure that what we're ranking for isn't completely different than what we would want to rank for. So now fire pit grate, if we go on to shopping, we can see the grate is actually this tool right here. It's not the grill or this actual grill. So if you have the keyword and you were ranking for the keyword fire pit grill, when you're selling fire pit grates, that would be irrelevancy. That would cause your quality score to plummet. That is not something you want to do. So right here, you got to make the differentiation between whether you want to sell grills or whether you want to sell grates. But with my strategy, which I'm about to show you, and the reason why I'm profitable 95% of the time and why I'm able to scale so aggressively is because I kind of combine these two things right here into one holistic whole. So in order to create your title, here is exactly what you got to be doing and what I always do. So I start off with my main initial keyword, which I just jotted down, and that keyword is often the keyword that I found first on the list, which means it has the highest average search volume compared to all the others. And by the way, you got to rank from top to bottom, highest to least. So that's what I do here. And now we're going to start off with fire pit grill. So our main keyword for the title is going to be fire pit grill, and that's exactly what we're going to write down. So once we write that down, our job now is to move on to the next keyword on the list, which is barbecue fire. And we want to ask ourselves the following question: what word from this next keyword did I not already use, which I can then implement into my main title? So kind of two questions there, not really one question. The first question is, what was the main keyword here, which I already did not use in my title? And the second question, what word can I insert into my title so that it still makes sense grammatically without making it seem repetitive and without making it kind of get messed up? So looking at the title, we already have the keyword fire pit, which is this one right here, but we don't have the word barbecue in here. So our main job now is to figure out where can we add the word barbecue in so that it still makes sense grammatically and is good for the algorithm. So let's try out different things. So fire pit barbecue grill, or barbecue fire pit grill, or fire barbecue pit grill. So in my opinion, it sounds better if we say fire pit barbecue grill, right? So it can be different for you. It doesn't really matter as long as it makes sense to you when you say it out loud. Let's move on to the third keyword and do the same thing again. Fire pit grate. Now here is where the differentiation comes in. If you are selling grills, this is where your title stops. You do not continue on down the list with these keywords, and your job is to find more keywords related to grills. But if you are just selling a fire pit barbecue grill grate, now you can continue with adding these keywords in, because you are selling something that is associated with barbecue grills and fire pit barbecue grills. That is just kind of an addition, and you're still being relevant because you still have the main keyword of that product, which is great, somewhere within the title. So in this case, we already have the keyword fire pit. We need to add the word grate somewhere in. So obviously it makes sense to add it at the very end. So now there you go. You transition your product from selling just fire pit barbecue grills to now selling fire pit barbecue grill grates. So there is a big distinction there. And the benefit of this is somebody typing in barbecue grill or typing in fire pit barbecue grill and grates, you will rank for it, compared to if you just typed in fire pit grates. Then in that case, you would not be ranking for something like fire pit barbecue or fire pit grill or any of that stuff, because you didn't have any of those major keywords within the title. So this is how I essentially make my titles, and we're gonna continue going down the list. So fire pit, we already have. Cooking, we don't have. Grate, we already have. So let's add cooking in. So fire pit barbecue cooking grill grate, or fire pit barbecue grill cooking grate. It's up to you. I honestly believe that having the word cooking right before grate seems better, so I'm gonna do that. Moving on now to the next keyword, which is fire pit grill grate. We already have everything mentioned here, so we're not gonna do anything. Grill grate for for campfire. So now we have all of these words. We don't have the word for, we don't have the word campfire. We don't want to add the word for because it doesn't have any value to it. It's just kind of a filler word, but we definitely want to add the word campfire somewhere in. So fire pit, barbecue, campfire, grill, cooking grate, or fire pit, barbecue, grill, campfire, cooking grate. In my opinion, campfire sounds much better right in front of cooking. So fire pit, barbecue, grill, campfire, cooking grate. It makes sense. It's perfect. Let's move on. Cooking grate for campfire. We don't need to do anything there. Grate for campfire. Again, we don't need to do anything here. Adjustable fire pit grill grate. Now we have everything here, but we don't have adjustable. So I believe adjustable at the front would do much better. And boom, there you go. That is your search engine optimized title, ready to make you a lot of sales with Google Ads. Now our search optimized title says adjustable fire pit, barbecue, grill, campfire, cooking grate. As you can see, it might be a mouthful to say fully, but it does the trick. It's professional. It flows very well if you did it correctly. And most important of all, it has all of the keywords which we want to be ranking. So this is really what makes this search engine optimized. This is what's going to make Google want to rank you much better and get you those results at a much better rate compared to some other Joe Schmo who just has the title fire pit grate. And that's essentially what you want to be doing in order to create those search engine optimized titles, which just work for Google. And the reason why this works is you have all of the necessary keywords Google needs to not only understand what your product is about and if it's relevant or not to what you are trying to sell, but also whether it should rank you for certain keywords or if it shouldn't rank you for other types of keywords. So you made Google's life 100 times easier, and Google is now going to reward you because you made Google's life easier. It doesn't have to do any guesswork. So Google just goes out, it looks through this, reads this title from left to right, and knows exactly what you need to be ranked for to get those right kinds of audience members onto your website. And this is exactly how I'm doing my titles. It's no rocket science, but let's move on now to our next example to kind of illustrate this point even further. So we're going to kind of go through and let's look at something that's interesting. This product right here, because it just popped out to me. I'm going to try this product and we're going to pretend that I'm trying to sell this product. So everything will repeat it in the first example. We're going to go into the title, or just by common sense, we're going to try to figure out what the 1 to 3 main keywords are that describe this product. So you can call this product barbecue gloves or grill gloves. Any of that really works in my opinion. It doesn't really work as an oven mitt because in this case, it might be better sold up as a barbecue glove. But if oven mitt is also one of the keywords, then you can definitely also search that up later on. But for the sake of this example, we're going to assume these are barbecue gloves or grill gloves or barbecue grill gloves. And we're going to actually search up all of those 3 keywords all at once. So let's go back. Let's remove this and let's type in barbecue gloves. We're going to type in grill gloves as well, because again, I want to be as narrow as possible. And we're going to also type in barbecue grill gloves. And boom, there you go. We see that there's a lot of keyword search volume here. There's a decent amount of searches being done. And most important of all, there's a lot of keywords popping up, about 50. So that's exactly what we need in order to properly create that search engine optimized title. And it was a good thing we kind of wrote it out separately, because as you can see, even on Google, people are searching it separately. Some people search for grill gloves, others search for barbecue gloves. So you kind of want to go in and think of these things ahead of time, be a step forward, and just understand what your audience members might actually be searching for. So in this case, grill gloves works great, but again, just to be sure, we want to go on Google, we want to type it in to make sure that we're not making a mistake by potentially ranking for these keywords. So as you can see, it's very similar to what we were looking to sell. And then we're going to also type in barbecue gloves, make sure it's the same thing popping up. And yes, the answer to that question is it's the same thing popping up. So now we're ready to go ahead and create that title. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back in really quick, make a note of all of those keywords which popped up, and get back to you guys very shortly. All right, so I repeated the same step as before, nothing different. I just made sure these keywords are number 1, relevant to what I want to sell. Number 2, when I search them up, there's no more than 5 to 6 competitors. Even if you, regardless of whether you have a warehouse in the US and you have 50 employees, you got to make sure that there's not too much competition. And when I say competition, I mean people selling the same exact product as you. Because even if you have a big warehouse within the US, you're trying to sell certain barbecue gloves you manufacture, maybe other e-commerce competitors got a hold of the same sourcing agent as what you use, and now they sell the same kind of glove. So you got to make sure of that. But once you make sure of that, just kind of start it the same way. We're going to start off with the main keyword, grill gloves. And then we're going to kind of go down the list, do the same thing as before. I'm going to be a bit quicker now because you should have got the idea. So here it's barbecue gloves. We don't have the keyword barbecue. We do have gloves. So we want to decide if it should be barbecue grill gloves or it should be grill barbecue gloves. In this case, I prefer BBQ to be in the front. So that's what we're going to do. And this one right here, it was a little bit of a weird keyword. I mean, I didn't know people search for barbecue in that way, but it doesn't make sense sense to have it written like that because we already have the keyword BBQ written. So this would be in repetition. We don't want to repeat unnecessarily. So we're going to skip that. We're going to go to best grill gloves. Now, a thing to keep in mind, you don't want to toot your own horn when it comes to your titles. That means don't put best and call yourself the best this, the best that. It just doesn't work with Google. People are going to think you're weird and they're not going to want to shop with you. This is better used as a keyword within the description, as an image alt text, not really as within the title. So in this case, we don't want to use best anywhere. We're going to skip that. We're going to move on to the next one. So cooking, gloves, heat resistant. We have 3 words here we didn't already use. We didn't use cooking. We didn't use heat resistant. So we're going to understand where we can place it. So cooking, it might be better to use it as barbecue, grill, cooking gloves, or if this does not really qualify as a cooking glove, you might not even want to use the word cooking. But in this case, let's assume it does. We're going to add the word cooking right there. And now the next keyword, heat resistant. We don't have anything like that here, and we got to figure out where should we add that. I normally like to add these filler keywords right at the beginning because it makes sense. It doesn't really fit anywhere in between. So heat resistant, barbecue, grill, cooking gloves. And that pretty much makes sense. We're going to move on now. Smoker gloves. Now make sure, again, this is the same thing as what you want to sell. In this case, if it does look like it's the same thing, then by all means go ahead and add it in. And it does look like these gloves can qualify as barbecue gloves. So we're going to add the keyword smoker gloves in somewhere. So heat resistant barbecue grill cooking smoker gloves, or heat resistant barbecue grill smoker cooking gloves. And it doesn't really matter in this case. I'm just going to place it right before cooking. So smoker cooking gloves, and that just makes sense to me. Move on now. Heat resistant barbecue gloves. We already have heat resistant. We have everything here. We don't have to do anything there. Final one, disposable. So if these are disposable, go ahead and write that in. But if you're selling something like this, I mean, I'm sure you would want to kind of reuse this over and over. You don't want to spend $15 every time trying to get disposable gloves. So in this case, we're going to kind of disregard it. And in fact, I wouldn't even want to include it anywhere. So that's pretty much it. And there you go. That is your properly search engine optimized title. That's all you really need to be doing in order to come up with the title. So as you saw right from the beginning, without even really knowing what title to start with in the beginning, we not only worked our way through these keywords, but we also came up with a title at the very end, which just makes sense. And that's basically the same strategy I apply over and over, not only for my own e-commerce brands, but I also help my clients under my Google Ads agency apply a similar strategy, which if you're doing around $30,000 or more per month, you need a little bit of extra help scaling your e-commerce brand to the next level. Go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and book a free call with me to see how we can possibly work together. But if you found any type of value in this video, destroy that like button, destroy that subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.